a lot of these doctors, they don't even, it's gone so far now, they don't even see what they're doing wrong. Again, they've convinced themselves they're doing the right thing and that someone like me is dangerous. Dean Patterson was saying, seeing myocarditis. I'm a foot and ankle surgeon, and I was seeing things. I had all these people coming to me with neurological problems because when you get pins and needles in your feet, a lot of people think it's a foot problem. Mm-hmm. But actually, it's happening higher up. It's demyelination, it's MS, it's all that kind of stuff. And I was doing all these kind of tests and figuring that. And I was like, no, this isn't actually in your feet. This is a neurological condition. And take, for example, MS. You normally see one every 6-7 years. I saw like 3 in the space of a year. And I was like, what is going on? So I was referring a lot of things to my neurologist as well. My neurologist that I referred to would come into my clinic in the afternoon when I finished the morning session, and we'd have a handover. And like one time he would be in the morning and then I'd be in the afternoon. So like twice in the week, we had a crossover where I would get to see him. And, I would have these conversations with him, and he'd be like, yeah, you're right. There's something crazy going on. And, my clinics are heaving now. And, it's weird and wonderful stuff, like from med school textbooks. I was like, wow, what is driving all of this? He goes, it's the vaccines. And I went, why didn't you say anything? And he went, you must be kidding. And he whispered in a closed room. There's no mics. There's no windows. The doors are shut. Like, what the hell? Like, but it was conspiratorial. Like, oh my God, I don't want to get into trouble if I mention this. And then, I saw myocarditis, I saw turbo cancer, I saw random clots in people who'd not been flying or had surgery or anything. I remember at the village pond saying to a guy, your leg's really swollen and red, by the way, you're limping. If you've not had this checked up, I'd really try to exclude a clot. He went, oh yeah, no, thanks, doc. Are you a doctor? I went, yeah. He goes, thanks, doc, you're 100% right. I've got a clot. I just found out yesterday. I went, have you been on a holiday or a long flight? He went, nope. I went, have you had any shots? He went, yeah, a couple of weeks ago. I went, oh, interesting. Maybe that's tied. He went, do you think? And, these kind of things made me think, I need to speak up. And the moment I spoke up, boom, my life changed.
Mm-hmm. You're in, and I'm telling you.
And I know a lot of my colleagues saw it. A lot of colleagues just refused to accept, cancer's that really strange. Wonder why. And I think it's literally because if they accept their role in this, it is so world shattering, they will not be able to live with themselves. Because it's not just that you're saying, these vaccines were dangerous. You're saying you're culpable. You were a bad person. You disregarded medical ethics. You threw that out the window because you fell for the fear porn and you followed the herd. And not just the vaccines are bad. You need to accept now that the media are lying to you, the government is lying to you, the public health bodies are lying to you, these beautiful institutions that you love, Oxford University, Cambridge, Imperial, the UN, the WHO, they're all lying to you. Every single motherfracker is lying to you. You have to accept that. And for too many people, it's like, oh my God, I can't, I'd rather die. So they pretend everything's fine and they then go, I wonder why cancer's on the rise.
And they probably will rather die. I mean, there's a lot going down here, and they will go down. They will hold on to the line to the very end. You think maybe their last gasp, they might want to save their souls.
Yeah.
You think maybe they might want to just at least acknowledge the objective truth rather than the satanic subjective, which leads to hell. Really and truly, I know I'm really going fire and brimstone here, but if you look at, say, even more media monitoring, right? So the way the Irish media have been treating the cancer stories. I've been tuning in, and so they go out of their way, the reporters and the journalists, to not ask whether the person was injected with an agent that has been linked to cancer, right? That's why Professor Dalglish's testimony is very, very important. That's why we should be talking about it. And why we know the journalists now are guilty, whatever about before, whatever about believing Dr. Fauci and the CDC, and, Donald Trump and Boris Johnson narrowly avoiding the ventilator and all that, whatever about believing all of that nonsense that we were put through. Now we have the excess deaths. So we have them. So now we know that was a total con. And in Ireland in 2020, we even see that there was nothing spreading. Apart from that one peak, which was the nursing homes, they were put on end-of-life protocols. Nothing spreading. It was actually below average for most of the year. So the death rate. So we know all that. So now we know there's an active covering up of the crime. And those involved are actively being deceptive. So this is taking it onto a new level of like, oh, shucks, I believed lies and I got caught up in something that wasn't true. Now it's going on to you're actively covering up a crime scene. We have dead people. We have the bodies. There's a count of 26,000 extra dead in Ireland since the shots. It could be more than that, but that's what they've scraped off RIP.ie. Patrick E. Walsh is he's an accountant from County Kilkenny, and he has done incredible work along with a team from Ireland Excess Deaths. And that's their figure, that what they've come up with, over 26,000 extra dead since the shots. So we have the stats. We have the Eurostat excess mortality data also. And we've got a few things. We've got the CSO data. So we can collate all of that. And we know we've got a major problem. And now we know that the media is not covering it. So now they are exposing their guilt. And if you listen to them asking cancer patients about their stories, they will go out of their way not to ask them whether or not they got injected. And the cancer stories start popping up around 2022, 2023, all around the time of the rollout of the injections. And then the media go out of their way to ignore Professor Dalgleish. They choose the angle they want when covering the Dr. Billy Ralph or the Dr. Marcus de Bruin hearings, and then they bury the stories. So this is all exceptionally evil stuff, and only a few good people are standing up.